So I guess first I'll open up the code for this. But first thing we really need to do is install the router, because the router in React is a separate package that you got to install. Let's see. So you only get it if you need it. So in here, npm install -- say react router dom. And then the three main things we're going to use, there's a router tag, although it's actually not a router tag. It's actually a browser router tag, but people usually import it. They say import router, browser router as router. I don't know why. It's like, that's just what everybody does, but it's actually a browser router tag. And then the link tag and the route tag, and then there's also, oh yeah, here, that. And then there's also the switch tag, and then the redirect tag. Those are all the things that you get when you install this package. So let's take a look here. And first we're going to make a super basic version of having a router. We're just going to have like 3 pages that just, have different things on them, like different components. Sorry? Yeah. Yeah. Because, well, wait, no. Sorry, that's definitely not true. Yeah, I'm recording. They're not going to replace the routes in Express, but they're going to do like the same type of thing. You're going to click on a link and they're going to show you a different component. But you're still going to need routes in Express, because your routes are going to be like API routes, and they're going to give the JSON values. Because, like, you know how we keep importing data from data.json or whatever? Well, obviously you're not going to do that. That's not how we usually do it. You need a database, and you can't talk to a database directly from the front end. You're just not allowed to. Okay, so let's do. Well, we'll change it later if we need to. Anyway, first things we need to do are, you got to do this. Wait. No, hold on. We have to import router and browser router. Well, anyway, go here, do import route from React router dom. Actually, this thing should be here. And let's import router, switch, and route. Okay. And then what we need before we can really use the router are separate components. So let's just create 3 components that are really, really, really simple. Page 1, page 2, page 3. And on each of these, we'll import React function, page 1. Actually, usually they do this. Const page 1 equals for a functional component. Oh, I don't know why I did that twice. But we're really not even going to use any props here, because all I want to do is on this one, return, I don't know, a div with an h1 that says this is page 1. And we're going to have another component, but this one's going to be page 2. And then we're going to have another component, and this one's going to be page 3. Oh, oops. Okay. So, really simple components, but the point is we're going to have, because so far with all these React things, what we have not done is had a thing where you click on a link and go to another page. That has not happened yet. So that's what we're going to have here. So here we're going to have, let's see, switch. Where's the switch? There we go. So here, we're gonna, since we imported switch and route, we're gonna put both of these things there. And basically, switch works the way that a JavaScript switch statement works, where one of these things is gonna get rendered. And so we're gonna go slash here, component, page. If we go to nothing, we'll go to component, or first we gotta probably import them. So import page 1 from component slash. Okay. And so if we, let's make the home page be page 1, and then if we go to /2, we'll get page 2, and then if we go to /3, we'll get page 3. What's the difference between what? Oh, what that means is, I will show you in a moment. Well, I'll show you in a second. Let's run the app and I'll show you. So here, we're in the right folder. Run this. Okay, so I said use switch outside a router. So what we got to do, you're not allowed to use a switch outside of a router. So what we have to do is we're going to put app.js inside of a router. So in index.js, this is where app component gets rendered onto the page. So here, we're going to go import, and this is where they usually do browser router as router from React router DOM. But this, all this does is it renames it. So you can, sorry, there. But you can just import browser router and have the browser router tag and put app inside of that. And that works just the same way. There's nothing wrong with the name browser router in my opinion.
So is the same as just
I don't even know what router even is. If we do router,
because in the error it says no.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't, I've never really used, yeah, I know the error, it's like everyone calls it router even though it's browser router. I don't really know what the deal is with that. I should probably find out, read up about it, but I don't actually know off the top of my head. But yeah, browser router is the one we're going to use. And so this is the home page. It's page 1. And if I go to this thing /2, then this is page 2. And if I go to the thing /3, then we go to that different component. So we see a different component. Now, to answer, I think it was Dusty who asked about this exact thing. Take this away. What this means is now we're going to show this on any page that has this in the URL, which is actually every page. So if we go to, oh wait, why is it, I guess, yeah, that's it. Just because this one's first. So when I go to /3, it's like, yeah, I'll go to /3. It's like, does /3 have this in the name, in the URL? Yeah, it does. It starts with this. So if you don't put them in a switch, then you get this. Wait, because we're on 3. Sorry. If you're on this one, on the home page, you'll get just that one. But then if you go to /2, it's like, well, that meets the criteria for 2 different routes. A better example might be like this. Let's do /page, and then this is /page/2, and this one's /3. So our 3 routes are /page, and then /page/2, and then 3. So if we go to 3, we're good. And if we go to page, we get page 1. But if we go to /page/2, we get both of them because both of these match that thing. But then the switch just like makes that not possible. So the switch makes it so that it only shows one of those things. Really what you should do is use the exact thing to make sure that those conflicts don't happen. So like if you have this kind of situation, then this one, and you only want to show one of those 2, then that. But it gives you more flexibility than an express type router, because on an express router you're only showing one page. But in this way thing, you could show one page, or depending on the route, you could show one page with this other thing underneath it, with a param in there or something like that. So you could do a whole lot more stuff with this router.
So it can display all the components.
It could display. It could be like, you could go to your profile and it shows your profile, but then if you go to /profile/financial, it shows your profile on the left side, but your financial stuff on the right side. Or I'm making up an app. Obviously, I guess it's a financial app, but yeah, you could show. It could be like, for example, you could have a nav bar that only shows up on half your site. So it could be like, you have a site that's like half of it's for like looking at some promotional material, but then there's a different section where you get to edit all your profile stuff. I don't know, you have a profile in there. Then for all the pages for your profile routes, you could have a nav bar that you can navigate back between all your profile routes. But then on the other one, you could have like a different nav bar or something. Okay, so that's pretty much the basics of routing. Yeah. Oh, this? That's just what Create React App gave me. This is, doing it like this is a function, but I don't really remember. I think it's a tiny bit lighter on the computer. Yeah. But I remember there's a possible problem that can happen. I don't really remember what it is right now. What other class? No, if you're gonna have, this is a functional component, so this is not a class. So this is only if you don't need to have a state. If you do need to have a state, then you should make it a class, and then you can have a constructor, and then constructor you can make your state. And probably we're going to change this to a class, because I'm probably going to make it a little bit more complicated, because now what I want to do is do like like have params, and then show params, and then maybe we can I don't know, we'll figure out something to do with the params. Yeah.
So if I if you are using Express and use the back end apps, is it better to keep it all in there, not use that router, or is it better to
No, you're gonna have API routes in Express. You're not gonna show any. You're not gonna use any views in Express. So you're gonna. If you want. What? Your React project is like all the views. So, yeah, this is gonna. You're not gonna have any views. What you're gonna have is routes that just query your database and give you JSON, and then this thing is gonna grab Axios requests. So we haven't done Axios yet. No, no. This is just what you're gonna. This is like saying. This is. It's like a lie. It's not a real route. it's this is an if statement. This is an if statement. This is like if the user types in this, show them this component. If the user types this in, show them this component. Or alternatively, if the user clicks on a quote unquote link, which by the way is not a real link, it's a fake link. It's not an A tag. React has its own thing called a link, because if you actually click an A tag, it actually makes a new request, which we're not going to do. We're gonna just type stuff in the little. Our link thing just like type stuff in the little route thing up there in the URL. And so this is really just an if statement. It's like saying it's really not that different from being like this. You know, if URL equals /page, then return page 1, like that. You know, something like that. Return that. Yeah, you're still gonna have to, because I'm gonna show you right now where we're gonna go to, like, yeah, we'll do it, how will we do it? Let's see. We'll do it where we're gonna grab some data in here. I'm gonna make a little data file of, I don't know, animals, and yeah, we'll do we'll do animals, and then we'll go to different pages. And if we go to animal/1, it'll show us one of the animals. If we go to animal/2, it'll show us one of the other animals. But ideally, you should not have to make that many Axios calls. Ideally, you should grab your Axios call in your top level component and just like hold all the information and limit the number of requests you make to the server. So we're going to grab all the animals up here, and then we're going to do that. Okay, let's see. Let's start with animals, list of animals thing in here. What do you want to do? Pokemon, okay. Oh, then we can do the, yeah, that's a good thing, because there's an API for that, and we can do that. Okay, that's good. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. New file. Pokemon.json. And here we just have an array of objects, and it's like name, colon, Bulbasaur. Oh, sorry, that's got to be in that. And number 1. Actually, I guess I don't even need. No, I do need the number here. I do need the number. Okay. And what's wrong? What's wrong with this? Why do I have this all? Is it this? Because I need it. Does it have to be? Yeah, I guess it has to be double quotes in JSON. Okay. Okay, and we'll do Or okay, yeah, sure, Mr. Mime. Come on, what's his number? Okay, original Pokemon numbers. 122. Let's do 143. Let's do Dragonite. 149. Okay. Mewtwo. What is he, 151 or something? No, 150. No, what? He's just one. He's 150. 150. Can we show some love to some of the average Pokemon? Like, I don't know, Geodude. You know, not everyone can be a game changer. Let's do Farfetch'd. What did it say? 83. And then let's do Gengar for sure. What? Are you hating on Gengar? Okay. So, in here, we are going to make this class. Class app extends react.component. And then we need a render function. Okay. So, what? Oh, I'm going to need a. Sorry. I'm going to need a constructor. Constructor. And this dot state, and we're gonna have Pokemon equal to, and we're gonna import the Pokemon. So import Pokemon from dot slash, what did I call it? Pokemon.json. Pokemon equal Pokemon. Okay. So I got some Pokemon in my list. And so this is where you might make an Axios call to, instead of saying Pokemon equals Pokemon, we would make an Axios call. But we would do it probably in a life cycle method, which is something we have not covered yet. So we're going to cover life cycle methods in a little while. They're like little magic methods that just run at a certain time. So you'd be like, I want it to happen right at this particular time. Then there's a method for that. But for now, we just grab them like this. And so what I want to do is we're going to have to change the way we show these. We're going to, goodbye to page 3. We're going to have first, let's have a list of Pokemon on one page, right? And then let's have the Pokemon details page. So Pokemon list and Pokemon details. Maybe we can leave the old routes and just make new ones. We can make new ones, okay. So we can remember the old way, and then we're gonna have new ones. So we'll call it this slash Pokemon goes to Pokemon list component, which we do not have yet. So let's make that Pokemon list component real quick. components, new file, Pokemon list.js, import React, React. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to pass the whole list of Pokemon into this thing through props. Because what I want to do in here is I want to do, you know, like a this dot state dot, or I want to return something dot map and map over them and have a div for each Pokemon. But I need to have all the Pokemon. So what I need to do is have props when I render this thing. And in order to have props here, you can't do this component thing. What you have to do instead is you have to do this. Render, and let me see if I get this right because it's kind of weird syntax. Render equals function like this. And then in there, you put Pokemon list. And that's obviously not right. Why? Oh, I think he put that in there. Or wait, no, I took that away and I need to put that there. There, okay, like that. Okay, just memorize the syntax. You can think of it like this: render equals, and then JSX tags, and then an anonymous function that you put the name of your component inside. But anyway, when you do it this way, now you can pass in props. So what I'm going to do is here, you got to put the word props here, and then you got to, here, when you do, oh sorry, you don't just put Pokemon list, you put it with its tag, like a tag, like a React tag. And then you can pass in the props the same way that you always pass in props to a component tag. But you have to do this first. You got to do dot props, and then what you're doing there is you're passing all of the magical automatic props that you get from being inside of a switch and a router. When you're inside of a switch and a router, you get a bunch of magical props like location and history that keep track of where you are and where you've been. And so this is you passing those in. And then the other thing you can do is list equals this dot state dot Pokemon. So we should have props.list in the Pokemon thing. And I have an error. What? Pokemon list is not defined, probably because I need to import it. Import Pokemon list from and again, let's see. I got something wrong in my Pokemon list thing. Oh yeah, obviously I got to return something in here. Hello. For now. What? Line 39. Oh no. Expected an assignment or function call and instead saw an expression. It seems like, is this thing, wait, does that thing match with that? Yeah. Here, let me see if I can find it in the, man. Okay. What's wrong? Pokemon list, import Pokemon list from there. Pokemon list, const Pokemon list, does this. we do it the normal way, is there a problem? Let's see. Okay, there's no problem if I do it that way. So it's obviously has to do with my syntax with this, which in order to do that, I guess I will go look at an example. All right, what's different about that than what I have? We'll change it. Slash Pokemon render equals that thing. Oh, I put curly braces outside of Pokemon list. That's what I have. That. There. And then I don't need that. Is that the difference? It's the same now. And then, yeah, well, obviously, there's no such thing as project index. Okay, there we go. So, render, just do what I did, have a copy that you know where it is, and you can copy it if the things go wrong. Okay, so then anyway, in the Pokemon list thing, let's go and let's get rid of this, and let's go into Pokemon list, and let's console log props. And we'll see that we have a lot of props. And one of them, well, wait, do we have the one I want? List equals this.state.pokemon. Oh yeah, list, here. List is the Pokemon. But also we have a couple other things that are pretty interesting. We have match, where path equals Pokemon, and URL is Pokemon, and params is an empty object. Well, actually, it's not an empty object, but it just has information we already have. But this is how we can use params. So we're gonna make this path. Well, actually, that one's fine. We're gonna have two of these. And this one, the second one, is going to be /Pokemon/:ID, just like in Express. And then we're not going to show Pokemon list. We're going to show Pokemon details, but that doesn't exist yet. So let's make that. And Pokemon details.js, for now, we're just gonna have a really simple thing that's just like const Pokemon. Oh, I mean, sorry, we gotta import React from React. And here we will return Pokemon details. But more importantly, we're gonna console log props, which we gotta pass in right here. And then we're gonna see that, so this one is, let's make this path exact. Otherwise, we're gonna get both of them in there. And then, what's wrong? Oh, I got to import it. Import Pokemon details. When I go to export default, when I go to /Pokemon, props.match.params is basically nothing. But if I go to /Pokemon/ I don't know, hello, then props. We're actually now you can see that we're at a Pokemon details component first of all, so it picked up that run. Props.match.params.id is hello. And if I type something else in here, obviously if I'm 75, then you can imagine that props.match.params.id is 75. That's how you can get params in here. So let's make a list of Pokemon in here, and let's make each one a link to /Pokemon/ that number of that Pokemon. And then on this page, we can make an API call to the Poke API and get the information about the Pokemon. So first of all, Pokemon list. We got the props. What is this one? Let's go back to here. It's props.list. Okay. So in here, const show pokies equals a function where we return props dot list dot map, and in the map function we return a div, and in the div it says each Pokemon dot name, right? What did I give it? Name and number. And we got to call that here. Show pokies. Okay, we got. Oh, I forgot. We got a Oh, you know what we can do? We don't need the here. We can do key equals each Pokemon dot number, since each one has a unique number. We don't need the index. We could do that. Typically, with when we're using our own API, we'll use the Mongo ID as the key. Will be like each Pokemon dot underscore ID. So we got all these Pokemon here. Very good. Well, no, that's not that. There. Okay. So now what I want to do is make each one a link to /Pokemon/ that thing's number. So what I got to do is up here, I got to import link from React router DOM. And then I think it's like, I'll keep it a div. In the div, we'll have a link tag. And the link tag looks like this. It looks like Pokemon.name, Pokemon.number. So now that should look like this. Then link, instead of like, you know how the A tag has href? Well, link has two. It's a link to /Pokemon/ wait, no. Each Pokemon dot number. That's not right. It's not going to work like that. Oh, right. Okay, I think. Is that what it needs? No, how do I do that? No, hold on. Okay. It needs to go to. Oh, yeah, curly brace, and then. Okay, yeah, there you go. There you go. Curly brace, and then backticks. Okay. So here, slash Pokemon slash 122, slash Pokemon slash 149, slash Pokemon slash 74. So now all we got to do is on this Pokemon details page, we're going to make an Axios call to the Poke API, pokeapi.co. Have we ever used this API here in this class? It's an old faithful API. It's publicly accessible. It's free to use. It's not the fastest ever, but that's okay. Oh wait, they do by name now? What? I went through all that to put the. Wait, hold on a second. Okay. It does by number. It does by number. Okay. So all we need to do is make a GET request to here. Basically, this thing here is like a little simulator you can use. If you make a GET request to https://pokeapi.co/api/v2/pokemon/1, you get Bulbasaur's info in JSON. And if you do it to /10, you get Caterpie's info in JSON format. And there's a lot of info about Caterpie here. Not all of it is necessary, but some of the stuff is cool. Is the image or whatever. So you're gonna use that. So we're going to install Axios in our project. npm install Axios. Yeah. And now in here we can import Axios from Axios. And I guess we can cheat and do a lifecycle method now. We're only going to learn one lifecycle method right now. It's going to be called component did mount. Oh wait, it needs to be a class to do that, right? Yeah. Okay. Oops. Okay. So component did now basically just runs right after the component mounts. And if you pass in props here, you're going to get the props that just happen after. And what I mean by component mounts means when it first loads up onto the page, basically. There's an order. It's like constructor happens first, and that happens one time, the first time the component goes up, and then the render happens, and then component did mount, and then render again. I don't really, you can look up the list. The thing is that they keep changing the lifecycle components because they keep tweaking it. They haven't quite properly gotten it quite right yet. But here, we're going to change this anyway. Actually, no, we're not, because the file's too big. It makes no sense. Let's see. Well, we could. Because the deal is that it's better not to do what we're doing, which is what we're about to do is we're gonna, every time we go to this page, make an API call. It's better to, up here, make, you know, however many Pokemon we have, like 10 or something, 8 of them. It's better to make 8 API calls right here and get all the information and just hold on to it, so that we then don't have to make more API calls after that. So we can do it both ways, I guess. So let's start by doing it the wrong way, and then we'll do it a slightly better way. It's not really the wrong way. It's because in this case, it's basically like a judgment call. Like in this case, you're not going to be making that many API calls this way, because it's just when we go to each different page for the different Pokemon. It's not a huge burden on the server, but we're supposed to be limiting the amount of calls we make to the server. So anyway, here we're going to do axios.get, and we're going to use this thing right here. And slash Pokemon slash, and then what we need is, we're going to be like const the number equals props dot match dot params dot ID. And again, if you're not sure about that, you can just console log props and just take a look at it in there. But what? Oh, sorry, it's not props because we changed it into a class. Oh wait, no, but it is. Oh, here, this is this.props, sorry. But within this function of component did mount, it's called props because we're passing it in through the constructor, or through the argument. Just know that that's just how the component did mount function works. But anyway, we're going to do axios.get and then add the number onto the end of that. Then dot then, dot then result. We're just going to console log result. And if it doesn't work, okay, let's see what happens there. Explosion. Let's see what happens. Match. Cannot read property match if undefined. I did this dot. I did prop. Oh, what? Really? Why? Yeah, show me this one. Component did mount. It is invoked immediately after it's you may call set state. Prev props. Yeah. Oh no. Wait, what? Oh, maybe a component did mount doesn't have props. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's this.props. Okay, let's try it again. Snorlax. Okay, yeah, that works. So let's see what we get for data. We got all this stuff for Snorlax. Is it really Snorlax? Did we get the right one? We went to the URL of here, Pokemon 143, so we know that we got the URL thing out of our URL correctly. Yeah, name Snorlax. Cool. So let's grab some of that stuff and put it on the page. How do we put it on the page? Well, here we can be all like, we can have a h1, and it's equal to this.state.name, and then under that we can have an h6, and that shows this.state.type, and then we can have an image tag, and the source is equal to this dot state dot image, and I don't know what else. What else should we put about the Pokemon? The number. Yeah, that's good enough for me. So what we need to do is we need to set all those things in the state after this Axios call. So we're gonna be all like, constructor props super props. This dot state equals this. Okay, and then we're gonna do this. We're gonna put all this stuff in the render function. We're gonna say if this, because see how it says number here and it's dumb, it says before we have anything. So I want to make sure that if there's a, well actually let's just wait. We'll wait for that. We'll put that last. First, we'll fill up the state with all these things. So we get all this stuff, we console log result. Let's take a look at result again. Result.data is the actual Pokemon. Result.data.name. So in the here, we're gonna be like const name equals result.data.name. Const type equals result.data. What? Oh no, I did it. I refreshed it. Does it have type? Come on. Where? Down here? Oh, types. Types bracket 0 dot name. Types bracket 0 dot name. Result.data.types bracket 0 dot name. Some Pokemon have two types like Bulbasaur, but we're just going to show their first primary type. And then const, what else are we showing? Number. Num equals result.data. Dot ID. Const img equals result dot data dot, let's see where the Pokemon back PNG, let's look at that one. I don't know about that. Sprites front default. Sprites dot front default is probably what I would think we need. That at least shows Snorlax sprite. So result.data.sprites.front default. Result.data.sprites.front default. And then this dot set state where we do all these things. Name, number, type, image. Name, name. Number, num. Type, type. Image, img. And then, what? Front default of undefined. Result.data.sprites. What do you mean? Oh, sprite. There it is. Boom. Amazing. But now it says number. Well, it really doesn't take very long, does it? I guess there's no point in changing that. It's fine. It's pretty quick. Okay, and if you want a navbar or something, all you got to do is go find where your router is and be like, yeah, outside of the router, let's have a div And in the div, we'll have links. Did I import link up here? No. Link. Up here we'll have a link to home, and that one goes to nothing. And then another link to Pokemon list, and that goes to /Pokemon. And that'll be on every page. Ugh. Okay. So yeah, we can go here, and then we can see Mr. Mime. We can go back to the Pokemon list, and Snorlax, and back to the Pokemon list, and see Farfetch, and then back to the Pokemon list. Yay! And let's see. Should we move the state up into app.js? I don't really think that's really a good way to do it right now. Plus, you're gonna do something kind of like this in Iron Beers. So I'll leave it this way. And then when the time comes when we do the to-do list app, we'll do it more in an organized way where we have the where we grab, what we do is we'll look in app, and then we'll look at all these, and we'll grab all the Pokemon and just hold on to them in app. And then that way here we don't have to make a separate API call each time, we just make them all one time. So we only ever make the call to Mewtwo one time instead of every time we go back. But we'll do that. We'll be doing that by next weekend. Where's this thing?